Okay guys, today we are going to talk about fractions, and the thing we're going to talk about today are the parts of a fraction. So let's look at what a fraction is. This is what a fraction looks like. Now, what does it tell you? Well, it tells you different parts of information. So let's say I have this circle, and I want to cut it into different pieces. So let me split it into pieces. Okay, so I have this fraction right here. We have the bottom part of a fraction and the top part of a fraction. You know from in class that the bottom part of a fraction is called the denominator. We call it the denominator because it tells us everything that's in the picture. The bottom number tells us all the pieces. No matter what we're looking for, the denominator is always the whole amount in the picture. Then we have our top number, and that number is called the numerator. The numerator is very specific. It tells us just what we're looking for. Sometimes it's the pieces that's shaded in, sometimes it's the pieces that aren't shaded in. It's just very specific to what we're looking for. So, looking at this circle that I just put up here, we see that there are 3 pieces. So that means that this denominator of 3 works for this picture because there are 3 pieces. Now if my numerator right here is 2, and I wanted you to shade 2 pieces, you would shade 2 pieces because that's what the 2 would mean to shade. So there's 1, there's 2. So if I were just looking at the picture, I would say 2 pieces are shaded out of 3, and that would be 2/3. So let's take a look at another one. Let me just make a circle, and then I'm going to split it up into some pieces. Let's split it into 8 pieces. Okay, I have it split into 8 pieces. Now you see what the circle did when I split it into 8 pieces is it put 1/8 in each of the pieces because that piece is 1 out of 8. So I want to write a fraction for this. So first we have our denominator. Our denominator is the number on bottom. Our denominator tells us every single thing in the picture. So what would my denominator be for this picture? It would be 8 because there are 8 total pieces in the circle. Now if I were to take my pen and shade a couple of these, so I have these shaded now, and I would want you to write me a fraction for how much is shaded. So I have my denominator of 8. Now I need my numerator. Remember, my numerator just is what I care about, and I just told you that I want the shaded pieces. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shaded pieces. So my fraction for that picture would be 5/8. So all you have to do is remember that we have 2 parts to a fraction. We have our fraction line, but we have the number on top, which is the numerator. Your numerator is what we care about. Sometimes it's the shaded, sometimes it's not the shaded. And then on the bottom, we have our denominator. Our denominator, let's see if I can spell it. Our denominator is everything in that picture. Every single thing in that picture. Now, in class we've also talked about what if we have more than one picture. So I'll take that circle and I'll do that circle. Make them a little bit the same size. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to split this one up. Let's do 5 pieces. And I'm going to split this one up into 5 pieces. So I have 2 circles that are cut in the same amount of pieces. So I'm going to shade in some of it. Let me shade in that. So in this one, I have a lot shaded in, and I want 1 fraction written for this. The type of fraction we are going to write for something like this would be a mixed number. A mixed number. A mixed number is a mixture of a whole number and a fraction. Now you're only going to have a mixed number when you have an entire picture that is shaded, because a mixed number is a whole number, let me write that, is a whole number and a fraction. So if I were to take these 2 pictures right here and I wanted to write a fraction for them, first of all I do my whole number. Well, do I have an entire picture shaded? Yes, that whole first picture is shaded. So my whole number would be 1 because I have one whole picture shaded. Then I would need to write a fraction right next to it because remember, a mixed number is a whole number and a fraction. So my fraction would be, how many pieces do I have total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my numerator would be how many are shaded? 1, 2. So my mixed number would be 1 2/5 because I have one whole picture, and then in the picture that's not the whole, I have 2 out of 5 shaded. Let's look at one more for a mixed number. Let's do a square this time. Well, no, let's keep it with circles. Okay, and let me, 1, 2, 3. We'll do 3 circles this time, and we'll split it into sixths. So I have all of my shapes split in. Now notice I'm splitting them into the same pieces. I didn't split the first one into 2, and the second one into 5, and the third one into 8. You can't compare them when they have different pieces like that. So we're just comparing them when they have, we're just writing a fraction for them when they have all the same amount of pieces. So I'm going to shade this, and this, and this. Okay, and I wanted to write a mixed number. So first of all, I need to write my whole number. Well, how many whole pictures are shaded? 2. So that's my big whole number. Then I have my fraction right next to it, which is the amount that's not quite a whole. So I have my numerator, which is the number I care about. So I care about the shaded. So how many are shaded? 1. Then I have my denominator, which is everything in that one picture. I know I keep saying everything, but it's in that one picture. It's not everything in all the pictures. It's just that one. So how many pieces are in that one picture? 6. So my mixed number for this picture would be 2 1/6.